Hey everyone, just want to make a video today of my Goodwill finds that I got today, and this clock right here that I will be restoring and getting back to working order. So, yeah, today we got a cracker can right here that I got for my common crackers. It's only $2.50, so I figured why not? You know, it's a cool looking one that doesn't look like those modern ones that are all smooth and, you know, like holiday related. So it's a nice little cracker can I could put on a shelf and maybe hide something in it, or, you know, maybe just an accent piece, something like that. So got that for $2.50. And then this clock right here I got, it's a Howard Miller clock. It was, let's see, 737 at the store. It has D-cell batteries in it, and it didn't turn on or work with those, but I'm not particularly too concerned about that. I mean, at the store I noticed it was this battery terminal was a bit corroded. This one was in pretty good condition. Here, I'll take these out. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, a little corrosion down there in the bottom, but yeah, this one's pretty severely corroded to the left, enough to the point where I could see it not working, just because it's corroded, not because it's necessarily broken. So at a first glance, yeah, I mean, I think it's restorable. I mean, everything, like when you pull on this, here, I'll flip it over and show you what happens. That's how you adjust it, is you pull these two things right here, you just pull it out. If you look up here, there's a little tab on the top, a little metal tab. When you pull this, it backs up like that and kicks the next one forward. Well, when you come over here to the hour one and pull on that, it doesn't do anything. So I don't know if it's broken or if it just doesn't do that because it's not on 59 minutes, maybe there's a mechanism that says, okay, only at 59 we can do this. But then again, how can you really set the time to exactly what you want if you can't just freely do this? So I don't know why it doesn't work with that. So yeah, at first glance though, this plastic's pretty smooth. I mean, it's smudged and stuff because I have not cleaned it at all or anything, but yeah, it's in pretty good condition. It's not nearly as scratched up as most plastic and like neon signs, clocks, that sort of thing. So it's good to see that that's in pretty good condition. And the plastic on this has actually worn and faded pretty evenly throughout the whole entire thing. The back it's pretty bad, but not particularly concerned since you won't see that. But yeah, throughout the whole entire thing, it's pretty well faded. Like you can tell this wasn't in some awkward position where, like, you know, the top is faded and then when you come down here and look at it, it's a completely different story. It's pretty equally faded, so that's cool to see that it doesn't look like some yellow, out of date, you know, old thing that someone just didn't want, so get rid of it. So that's cool to see. I think it adds to the aesthetic. It just looks so good. So yeah, at a first glance, I'd say it's in pretty good condition. I mean, it doesn't work, but that's what this is all about. Yeah, these feet back here, they're actually in pretty good condition. I don't know that we're going to replace those, but yeah, you can see here's the original tag for it. So I have not looked it up yet, but this is definitely 70s. I'm guessing this was made between 1970 and 1972. I think that'd be a pretty fair guess. I mean, I don't think anything like this would have been made after like 1985 or so, just with modern clocks. So yeah, I'm excited to get into this. I mean, just looking at the internals from right here down in there, they look pretty clean. I don't see any corrosion deep within it. So yeah, that's about it for this intro. And so let's get into it. Alright, so we're going to get into this here and see what's going on with this. So let's start out by taking the battery out of this. This last battery here, couldn't get it out by hand. Yeah, it's pretty severely corroded in there. I'll lift this up so you can see that. Wow, yeah, it's pretty significant, but I don't think it's anything that we can't solve. So, okay. And another note I wanted to make on this is that that's what the original color looked like. I mean, you can see inside here, that's what it looked like. So I think it's actually a nice, it's faded nicely. I think it makes it look better than it would if it was just all white. But yeah, and then on the back here, I also think that a lot of this smudging is from nicotine. I guarantee you this was probably a break room type of clock, you know, like just based on the profile of it and the way it looks and everything. So that's probably why it's like that. It was probably exposed to, like, you know, shifts and shifts and shifts and shifts of smoke, you know, breaks and breaks of smoke. So that's probably what we got going on here. Some oven cleaner I think will handle those nicely and get rid of, you know, all the stuff on these and get rid of all that on the back. But let's get these feet taken off and see how they look. I'm pretty sure that's how you take it apart. Alright, see how this comes apart. Okay. Wow. Look at that. Oh, sorry. That is pretty pristine on the inside there. Make a note of that. Wow. That is super, super clean. And yes, that is definitely the case with all the nicotine. Because if you look over here, look at that. All that stuff building up around there. That is 100% nicotine. That's just seeped in and seeped in and seeped in. You know. So okay, that explains everything. It's even got a little membrane right here on the back for the nail. That's pretty cool to prevent dust from getting in. That's probably part of why it's so pristine. Like, wow. Let's see. I'm gonna move these around. Yeah, that circuit board, that appears to be in pretty good condition. I don't see any surface rust or corrosion with it. This red light right here, if that isn't working, we'll see if it is. It appears to be a pretty basic red LED, so we could always replace that. Very cheap, less than $1 for that. Yeah, there's some serious corrosion on that battery terminal. That will definitely cause it to not work, for sure. So it's good to see there's nothing mechanically wrong at this point. And then this band right here that's fallen off. Not sure what the deal with that is, but oh, okay. If you look on the inside here, you can see that band is supposed to be connected right there and have tension in place. And now that it's broken off, it doesn't. So that is most likely why the hour does not work on this side, and it didn't work when we pulled this. Yep, as we're at this one, there you go. So that's pretty much the whole entire mechanical diagnostics in just that much time. So, wow. I will say that's cool you can separate it with these screws right here, because you know, if I would ever want to paint it or something like that, you could 100% do it, and it wouldn't be like only one area painted and the rest of it's, you know, like, or like the faded area on the front is faded, but the rest of this is, you know, it just wouldn't look good. But yeah, I could potentially turn this into a much bigger project with that and just paint it whatever color I want. So that's really cool. We'll get more in depth into this here in a moment and see, you know, what this is made out of, and maybe get some Coca-Cola going on this or something like that. So that's it for now. All right, so we're going to take the battery terminals out and try to get these cleaned up and see what's going on with those. Wow, that one broke off immediately, but it's no big deal. That can be resoldered. There's nothing broken about that we can't fix. Then we'll get out the pick for the rest of these. Don't know about this one. Let's just pick some of this out. Got most of that corrosion loosened. Wow, yep, that one broke right off too, so, okay. Get those pulled through. We'll take this switch off too. Piece of tape in here still holding it, so just, yeah, there we go. And voila, this is off. Set that aside. Take a closer look at these battery terminals. Yeah, these are all pretty corroded. You can see this one's barely hanging on. See if we can break it off. Yeah, broke right off. Switch, that's in pretty good condition. No corrosion on there. So we're not even going to really pay attention to that because it's pretty good condition. Yeah, right here you can tell. Look at that. That's just... I probably wasn't even connecting at all. That's probably why it wasn't working. I mean, multiple of these might have not been working. So, yeah, I think that's our main problem right there is that. And this one, yeah. Decently corroded, so... Best condition of them all, though. So that's what's up with that. And then let's take these and give them a test with the oven cleaner and see what that does to it. Take some of this, put it on a paper towel. Oh wow, yeah, I cleaned it up quite nice. Nice, nice. Yeah, so we'll hit that back piece with it. Yeah, it takes it right out, man. This thing was super, super grimy compared to the other one now. Look at that. Man, let's try it again on this one. Yeah, it looks a lot better. They're like pretty much two different tones, but that's alright. I mean, you won't see them anyway, but yeah, it cleans it up real nice. Alright, so we're going to clean this up now with the oven cleaner on a paper towel and see how it comes out. Yeah, there's a ton of fingerprints and grime on this. That's one of the things that almost made me not want to buy it, was just how grimy it was. Didn't know if it would clean up very well or how dirty it was on the inside. So go after this with some oven cleaner, see how it comes out. Wow. Here, I'll do one half of it, and then we'll just compare the halves Yeah. That label. I'll try to avoid it, but... So there. I don't know if you can see that very well, but yeah, that 1/2 right here, look how much better that is. Wow. It's a lot of grime on there. Man, yeah, that is significantly better. And also, let's get working on this corrosion on the inside here. There's still a little bit of it left, but let's see if we can get this. Man, pretty big pieces. It's a bit more than I thought there'd be. Yeah, that's most of it. Yeah, pretty much none on the other side. So, alright. Yeah, this back panel is looking a lot better after all that. This isn't very dirty, so we'll just wipe it out all it needs. nicotine coming out. That is looking much, much better after all that cleaning. Q-tips and paper towels and all that. I'm really satisfied with that. I don't know if I'm gonna replace this. I think it's all right. I don't think it's worth going through the effort to replace it. I mean, I don't think much dust would ever get in there anyway, but I think it's done a pretty good job of doing that, so I'll just leave that there. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for the back side. It's pretty much ready to go back together whenever I'm finished with everything else. But yeah, that cleaned up a lot nicer. That was almost disgusting on the back here, how much grime and nicotine there was, so that's cool. Alright, so now we're going to take this assembly off of the face of the clock and see what's going on with that, so we can get in here and clean it easier and maybe get a better look at this mechanism and see exactly what we have to do. Also, so we can repair it, because it's quite difficult to get in there and do anything while it's like this, so. Just take this out. Okay, yeah, they're hanging down like that. Take this and move it over here. Wow, this is preserved pretty well. Seal and everything, wow. Man, I didn't think I'd be able to get in here and get all this open and everything, wow. Yeah, it's sealed, it's still in pretty good condition. Doesn't appear to be dry rotted. Oh, as soon as I say that, it breaks, but that's no big deal. This doesn't have to be oxygen tight or anything like that, so I'll probably just put that back together and maybe put a little tiny bit of adhesive or something, but we'll set that aside. Take a look at this piece of plastic. Yeah, it's pretty dirty. Now I can clean it as one piece, which is nice. It's just kind of annoying to try to clean something that's still in something, and you have a lip here and like a little tiny area down there. It doesn't actually get clean, which is it's just annoying. It doesn't feel thorough enough, so that's nice to get that out. And yeah, overall, not a lot of scratches there, so that's cool. And the front piece, yeah. You can see there's a few little cracks, like right here, right there, right there, right there. And that's just from drying out and being tightened into here. As it dries out, it just stays like that. And once it's lost a whole lot of moisture, it then gets a lot more stressed than it was when it was originally made, and it just naturally cracks. But that's not a big deal. I don't know if I'll really put too much effort into fixing those. It's just how the way it is how I see it. But I don't know, maybe we could do a little bit of filling or something like that. But yeah, it's in pretty good condition, to be expected. So now we're going to work on cleaning up this front plastic piece here with just some simple green. See how that makes it come out. It's a bit grimy and smudged on the front, and on the inside too. It's pretty dirty, so and there we go. It looks pretty damn good. You know, it still has some things about it. Maybe I'll find a way to get those light scratches out. I don't know though. I mean, I think it looks fine enough. So that's that. And now we're going to just come through and clean up the battery terminals, just get them back to, shiny condition, much like this. And I ended up cutting this last one off because I think it'd be best to just resolder everything. Why not? We're already getting out the soldering iron, and this one was only maybe a slight bit corroded, but why not just redo everything at once? So here we go. About it for that. I'd say those are pretty good. They'll definitely conduct electricity just as well as they were originally designed for. I don't know about soaking these in some cola, maybe. I don't know if that's particularly necessary. Yeah, so that's about it for those. Here we go. Be careful not to pull out that LED. Or let's see how we're going to do this. Set it down like that. See, it's this LED come out. Nah, it stays in there, so. Okay. I'll just set this down as is. Maybe see about, yeah, just like that. Perfect, perfect. So now we can actually access this side and see what I was talking about earlier. Yep. Yeah, right here is what I was talking about. this is impossible to access without having this off. So, okay, yeah, that's the band. It connects right here, wraps around. It's broken, so, okay, yeah, it looks like we can definitely take this out and copy it. I see. It broke. That's all right. So dried out. I mean, got to be replaced anyway, so. There it is. That band. So we'll take the rivet out of the other side so it can just come through. Yep, and that's the other side of it. So next step is find something we can use to replicate this sort of plastic. I'm thinking maybe part of a 2-liter might work. Some 2-liter plastic. That's probably about similar thickness. Yeah, something like that. Not metal. Definitely not a paper product. That'd probably be too weak. So yeah, I'll have to take this, trace it, or just measure it and cut it out. Yeah, since this snapped off, a repair link from this to this on there, that's just not going to work. So yeah, we'll have to just make a copy out of some sort of plastic I can find here. And so that's the next step. So upon scavenging around and looking for any plastic that'd be a good replacement for this, couldn't find much, so I'm just going to go with this classic cola here. I'm probably going to cut it around like this, so it'll be already in a circular shape, which I can't think of a better thing to use than this plastic. It's only a little bit thicker than this, which, it's not particularly a big deal. So yeah, this is definitely the best candidate for something like that already needs to be slightly curved. So yeah, let's get this thing cut open and figure it out. I already cleaned out the inside with some cleaner. And this right here is probably about, let's see. About 1.5 inches long, so we'll have to add that on there. And yeah, I'll probably make it actually a little bit longer. I'll probably add like 2.5 inches, and then once it's cut out, we'll compare them to the old one that we got here and trim it up, trace this over it, that sort of stuff. So here we go. And there we go. Get these tabs up here cut. There's a hole in there where it locks into. Let's test that out, make sure it works. Yep. Perfect. Works exactly as expected, and then we'll put it in there, see how much tension there is, and then decide if we need to move that hole or not. So yeah, looks great. That's it for now. Next step will be fitting it. So I'm gonna fit this new band that we got here on that. But yeah, I figured out with this LED, it's actually a press fit. So I'm just gonna take my pick here, put it underneath it, lift it up slightly, pops right out. So we don't have to have this thing lingering and always causing an awkward setup. Okay, so this one goes in together with it. We'll save that one for last, so. Get the hemostats out, get that in there. There we go with that one. Successfully linked in there, just like the other one. You can see. It's got this tab that comes through a hole in there. Pops through. This one that I made, improvised. Same deal. So. Connect down here. Let's see. Bends over. Yeah, I think it was about 1.5 inches long, so bend it over probably about right here. See how that looks. Probably reach in there with a screwdriver or maybe the pick, get it started. Spread. Yep, there we go. It's opened up, but it's still just in the test phase. We'll have to make sure there's not too much or too little tension. Alright. Yeah, it looks really good though. Hell of a lot better than it was. Yeah, it's definitely more tense. Then again, there's a lot more of those, so we'll see. So, let's see. Nice. Yeah, that already works pretty much perfectly. Look at that. That is super satisfying. Yeah, I don't think we'll have to make any adjustments to that. I think that's brilliant. Right here, I'll prop it up and show you how it would actually normally function. There we go. That's a job well done for that. That's probably really it as far as why it didn't work, is that, and then the terminals, you know, but that's just wiring. That's not anything significant. So there we go. Wow, that's crazy. I'm super satisfied by that. So that's it for that. And I mean, as far as the project goes now, all we gotta do is get these terminals back on here, and I mean, that's all I'm seeing. I mean, I might repaint it. I don't know. I probably should. I mean, the patina it has on it's nice, but I think I should repaint it. It would just make it look a lot cooler, and pretty much just, I can put my own flavor into it, my own style into it, make it how I want now. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. And so yeah, next step, put the terminals on, and then figure out what we're gonna do with paint. All right, so upon further inspection and looking into this wire right here, this white one I was trying to strip, I've probably already taken too much of it off of here for it to be long enough. So I'm just going to go ahead and replace the whole entire wiring setup, because, I mean, it's old wiring, it's not like, it's not anything rare or anything I can't find. I got new wiring for it already. So let's cut it off and get to copying it. Gotta keep enough of it on here. I guess there's a twist tie right here, so I think cutting it right about here will be safe. So now we can focus in on just copying this and making a whole new harness, because those wires over there will just stay there, and we'll just color code them, solder them together, heat shrink them, and do that. So let's get to that. This wire right here, about that long. So yeah, cut it about that long. That's probably fair. It's the first one. The one that comes after it. Let's see. So come about right there and cut it. It's the second white wire. So it's those. And then for the other side of the LED, they'll connect to the terminal. Out there. Yeah. So it's all those. That's it for the white wire. Now, let's do the red. Okay. Oh, nice. It's just one long wire. One long red wire, so. So, cut this probably, yeah, down there. That sounds about right. That's it for the red wire. So, it's all those. Now, for the remaining black wire. Yep, just got this black wire that I found. So, let's see this side. So, come pry down here and cut it. And there we go. That's all the wires that we're going to need. Just matched them up and cut them right there. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that. So we'll get into the soldering phase here in a moment. Alright, so we're going to desolder this stuff now. It should come off pretty easily. Yep, it's separated. Yep, that came off nicely. This might be a little bit more difficult. Well, let me get out the set of helping hands. That's what those are for. Alright, successfully got those desoldered. And yeah, let's get into making the new wiring harness. So it was a rather tedious, long process of figuring all that stuff out. So I decided to just do it off camera because it took quite a while, and it just took a lot of different turns and figuring stuff out. So yeah, I got it all soldered up and everything. And I got the shrink wrap on here, and so that's the next step, is to shrink wrap it, and then we'll use some of these zip ties and get them back, to where it looks like a wiring harness, kind of like, the original one here does with tape and everything. So yep, that's the next step, is to just get this heat shrink going. But yeah, everything's all soldered up and nice. Not all, interrupted and everything like it was. I mean, there still is here, but I mean, what else can you do? So yeah, we're gonna get to that and get the heat gun fired up here. So we can turn that off now, and then finish up these remaining ones on here that you can't really, I don't want to get this super close here, so we'll just do the classic lighter trick. Just use a lighter and heat them up. Which I guess, getting a flame to it isn't any better, but at least you can somewhat concentrate it. So yeah, let's get this a little bit elevated. it's still a little hot. All right, and that's it. That's it for that. Everything's heat shrinked and pretty much ready to go. I mean, let's see if we can touch this one up a little bit. It was kind of awkward. Ooh, it's hot. Yep. Well, that's all I can do, so just leave it at that. And yep, that's pretty much everything. Pretty much everything. Got that new band put on there. Everything's wired up again. New wires. Yeah, the paint process will be next, but I'd like to put it back together first, make sure it works, and just make sure there's nothing else that needs to be touched up. And that's pretty much going to be it for this. So, yeah, we'll get to that, and I'll have the update on it bit back together just here in a moment. Alright, so I got this put all back together, all the terminals in there, the switch in there, everything's set up. So we're going to go ahead and flip the switch on and wait for it to flip over. And I'm assuming that it's on a 1 minute timer, so we'll have to just wait here about 1 minute and it should flip over automatically, and that should be that. But yeah, I'm super excited about this. I mean, it only took about 2 days to get this done. I started on it last night. That's when I brought it home, pretty much on a whim from Goodwill. And yeah, I mean, this has been one of the quicker projects I've ever done for what it is. I mean, normally when I'm doing something and it has to be repainted, it's just that can all be done in like a day or two, and it's an easy project. But something like this, like where I went through the whole entire thing, I mean, I don't know. I've been grinding. I've probably put in like 10 hours today, and then probably close to the same amount of time yesterday. So it's a nice 2-day project, and nothing really went too wrong. So that's exciting. So great project, and hopefully there'll be more like it in the future. But let's see. Any second now, it should be flipping over. Nice, nice. All right, that's cool. I'm glad it works. I'm glad it works because you can't hear anything until it flips over. There's no, background sound or sound of like like normally quartz clocks. You can hear them ticking all the time, or if you listen up close, you can hear them. But so no, okay, that's cool that it works. I guess there's just a timer that sends a pulse to the motor every minute. So nice, nice. Well, that's about it for this step. So now we're gonna move on and figure out what we're gonna use as a primer, how we're gonna paint it, all that stuff. And so yeah, that's good. It's good to see that. So now we're gonna come in here and remove the dust from where the cards meet, the little cylinder thing right here, and then also just touch up these metal tabs and repaint them. They're in pretty good condition, but why not repaint them while we're at it, so you don't ever have to worry about them getting worn out and stuff, because I'm probably never going to redo this again. So And that's pretty much it for all the aesthetic stuff right now. Other than that, nothing else really needs to be done except for the painting process. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Since the sticker's in, faded, pretty bad condition, I'm just going to replace it actually. I'll just make a new one and just put some adhesive on it and get it on here. I don't particularly like painting stuff like this where you have a sticker like this that's, it's in alright condition, but, you know, I don't like taping around things like this, and then you have something with a brand new paint job, and it has this old sticker on it, and then it's just too hard to tape because it's just kind of irregular around the edges and stuff. So I figured to get away from that, I'm just gonna go ahead and remove it, make a new one, and just write everything in here on there instead of having to go through taping this off everything. It just looks unfinished to me, so that's what we're gonna do. That's pretty good for me, I would say. I'll probably, in the sanding process, sand it and get what's remaining on there. Maybe hit it with some sticker remover. I don't know. I don't want to introduce any sort of chemical like that to this because I'm afraid it might mess up the plastic. Even though it's on the back, still, I don't want to. I don't want to possibly introduce a chemical that'll ruin it and make it harder to paint. So that's good enough. And then there's going to be a sticker over it anyway, so that's how we'll leave it. And then let's get to taking this off, this little thing right here. So yeah, next we'll get into the sanding process and then get it painted up, and that'll be it. So I ended up actually changing my mind about introducing, other types of chemicals to this because I thought it would hurt it. So what I ended up doing is using some Goo Gone on here because I figured it would just clean it up so much easier, and it actually ends up being less invasive than sanding it and dealing with that. So I put some Goo Gone in here. I took this off super easily, and I also did it on the back here. I'll show you. Did it on the back here and got this sticker off. Took it off very nicely and didn't damage the finish or anything, which is super cool. And I don't know if you can see it there, but actually, like, the letters faded through it because on the tag the letters were black, so no light got through the letters, but on the rest of the tag it did. So you can see it's actually sort of, faded into it. But yeah, so that's that. Got that all taken off and everything very smoothly. And so yeah, we're gonna get into the sanding process and get everything sanded down and then paint it. So yeah, we're gonna start out with a 150 sanding block, then we're gonna step it up to 220 and then 320, and that should be enough for prepping. So let's get to it. After all that, this is how it came out. And so they're looking pretty good. They're very smooth, a lot more smooth than they were. So, yep, that's pretty much the only stage for prepping right now. And I'm going to put the first coat of primer on it. We'll see how it comes out. So, yep. Got some tape in these holes here. Prevent paint from getting in there. So, yep, that's about it. So, we're going to paint it or prime it, get its first coat on there, and that'll be next. So I got the first coat of primer on, and it's came out pretty good so far. Very uniform, very nice looking. Super satisfied with how it came out. This looks amazing. And on this, it's kind of nice that it's actually started to fill in the cracks just a tiny bit. It's a tiny bit. It started to fill those in. On this one, it's almost unrecognizable. So that's cool that it started to do that. Maybe after a few more coats, it'll get better. Yeah, I'm just using this Krylon Color Max primer, indoor outdoor white. So yeah, that's all I'm using for this. I would have went with a Rust-Oleum one, but I couldn't find a Rust-Oleum one. I don't think it was in stock, so I went with that. Let's see how this came out. Yeah, I'm super impressed with how it came out. Don't have a lot of experience with painting plastics. Most of the stuff I do is metal, sometimes plastic. Usually if it's plastic, it's like some outdoor type of thing, and it's just a plastic paint that's one color and it's already set up for plastic. But priming it and then painting it, which is the best way to do it, I think it's going to come out good. I mean, if the primer looks this good so far, man, I'm sure it's gonna look really good once I get that finish on it. So yeah, it's coming along pretty good so far. A lot better than that mismatched two-tone looking fade that it had in the previous video about that. So yeah, it's adhering quite nice, and yeah, overall I'm satisfied with it. I don't know if I'm gonna do too much in here. It's just awkward to paint, and enough overspray has gotten to it that I think it looks fine. I mean, the on-off switch right here has gotten some, so I think that'll be fine. And besides, it's pretty unfaded, untouched anyway, so I don't think we'll do too much here. I might give it a few sprays, but yeah, it's in good enough condition that you won't be thinking too much about that. So yeah, looks great so far. And now we're gonna make a new dust cover for this out of this gasket material I got right here. So let's go ahead and measure it, see roughly how big we should make it. So I'm thinking about 1¼ inches wide and about 1½ inches tall. That's how big we'll make it. So let's see. I'll just draw lines by hand like this. It's not too big of a deal. It's not super accurate in this case, so as long as we can just get it rough fits, it's completely fine. And there we go. It's a little rough around the edges. I guess I'll trim that up with a pair of scissors. There we go. That's what we use. So now we're gonna get just some general adhesive and get it glued on there. And we'll just use this Gorilla Glue pen that I got here, and that should work just fine. Doesn't have to be anything special or anything particular. So take this Put it on there. And voila, that's that. Let that dry, and then we'll cut a plus sign shape in it, and that'll be that. So we're in the last step of putting it together here, and yep, all you gotta do is put the terminals in, and that's gonna be it. Took a rather tedious amount of effort to get that set up, but it looks good now, so let's get this back together. Yep. That's back together all well. I'll have to touch up the edges around there. But yeah, for now, it looks pretty good, I'd say. So let's put the feet back on it, and that should pretty much be the end of this project. And we'll put the label on it too, but yeah, that's all the significant stuff. And there you have it. That is the finished thing. Here, I'll take it out of the tripod here and we'll get a better view of it. Wow, look at that. Yeah, that came out phenomenal. Think about what it looked like whenever I made that first video. I was skeptical of it. I thought it looked kind of gross. Not even the same clock at all anymore. Not the same at all. Alright, I'll put some batteries in it. We'll get it running, and yeah. And now we're going to put the finishing touch on it. I got this new label made, just on a regular piece of paper. So we're going to spray this adhesive on it, stick it on, and that's going to be it. Better way to pick this up. It's a bit tacky. I don't want to mess it up. Here we go. I'll do this. And there we go. That's the new label, and that's it. Now we'll just turn it on, put the battery cover on. Thing's kind of finicky. And that's that. End of project. Yeah, it came out super good. I love the way it looks. And yeah, I think I might throw it up on eBay. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know what you think of my videos. If you think I do good, if I don't. This is my first, so yep. This will pretty much be the genesis of my channel. There's many a restoration project to come, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, thank you for watching.